The Voluntary and Developmental Christian Association, which comprises 400 domestic and international charity organizations, has been undertaking various voluntary works in the past 45 years. The association has offered a recognition award for the people who engaged in free community service and those who contribute donation for it. Chief Executive Officer of the Consortium Christian Development Association, Dr. Misha Shawarga, said the aim of the recognition was to initiate the volunteers so that they would sustain their development contribution and expand innovative ideas. Dr. Misha stressed that his organization would work with the emphasis to alleviate poverty.
CCRD member organizations are investing between 7 to 11 billion birr annually from the year 2011 up to 2016 fiscal years. This money has been allocated for key priorities delineated in the Growth and Transformation Plan and the UN Sustainable Development Goals.
Commissioner of the National Planning Commission, Dr. Rinaga Deset, underscored that it was impossible to reduce poverty by government efforts only. Hence, the government will encourage NGOs, he added. State Minister of Health, Dr. Kabudo Worko, saying that voluntary organizations have played an immense role for the improvement shown in health sector, underscored that the government has planned to work with organizations to combat HIV/AIDS and unreproductive health. On the event, President of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Dr. Mulatu Shame, emphasized that the voluntary organizations have contributed a lion's share for the tremendous results observed in socio-economic development of the country. The President suggests that more effort is needed to alleviate poverty. Dr. Mulatu argued the voluntary organizations who are working in Ethiopia to build their capacity and strengthening their financial management.
The charities operating in Ethiopia are expected to strengthen their further improve program and financial management competence, raise their institutional credibility and harmonize their efforts and align their programs with national development frameworks and the nation's sustainable development goals in consideration of the national and regional context and peculiarities.
On the occasion, a recognition certificate and award has been offered for 10 model voluntary organizations. Founder of the Association for Sustainable Development, Alternative Takle Shoma, was one of the awardees. His association has worked promising works in fighting against deforestation in Aceh zone.
The Ministry of Education has held discussion with concerned bodies on how to create conducive teaching-learning environment in higher learning institutions. Soricha Kabonicha has more from Chala Barakas report.
Ministry of Education has discussed on how to bring peace in higher learning institutions. The State Minister of Education, Dr. Samuel Kivle, said that the ministry has discussed on more attention-seeking issues and the questions of students.
By identifying attention-seeking issues, the Ministry of Education has discussed with the higher education communities and the government on how to ensure peace and stability in higher education.
Dr. Samuel added that the discussion has a vital role to mitigate the problem through identifying its root causes.
There are plenty
of questions, so it is difficult to respond it overnight. It should be responded in a stable way and continuously.
The Ministry of Education stated that the teaching and learning process was interrupted previously due to instability of higher learning institutions. To overcome the problem, ad hoc committee was organized and visited the problem in the universities, and they have discussed with different university managements and the communities. Some members of the ad hoc committee said that the group identified the major questions of the students.
The question asked repeatedly should get immediate response by the government.
Some universities' presidents said that the works are underway to compensate the wasted education time.
By teaching on Saturday and Sunday, additionally, on previous school day, and adding 10 days on the planned time for the first semester, we are rearranging our academic calendars.
The Rehabilitation Committee for Displaced Oromos from Ethiopia and Somali Regional State has discussed with Oromia Broadcasting Network's overall situation of the displaced citizens compared with different who settled in different areas. Olma Bain reports.
The Rehabilitation Committee for Displaced Oromo from Ethiopian Somali Regional State due to the Oromuma has held discussion concerning the current situation of the displaced citizens settled in different areas. The committee has also discussed the role of Oromo diasporas. Dr. Abarad Irisa, chairperson of the Rehabilitation Committee for Displaced Oromos, briefed OBN on overall situation of the displaced Oromos.
It's almost about 4 months since our civilian citizens have displaced from their home. Our committee has continued its rehabilitation process till they are fully rehabilitated. The Oromia Regional State Government has been working an irreplaceable job on its own. This should be strengthened than ever.
Dr. Abara said information gathering process on the scenario of the displaced has also been underway to register the scenario in history. Dr. Abarra also calls for further contribution of the Oromo diaspora. Head of Oromia Finance and Economic Cooperation Bureau, Tolosa Gaddafa,
$4.6 million has been collected and deposited in a bank. Contribution in items is not less than this. This is not enough to fully rehabilitate them. Rather, we expect the effort
for the further use of Oromo people.
The unity of Oromo is not a recent phenomenon. Rather, it was a long-lasted with these people. Although it was weakened by enemies in different times, Oromo is one that belongs to Boran and Barintu.
The committee has also suggested that the way of further rehabilitation process of the displaced Oromos and the unity of Oromos than ever.
Discussion on how to restore and sustain peace and security of the country has been held in OBN studio. Participants of the discussion said the role of youth is vital in the restoration of peace and security in the country. We have the report. On the discussion that held in OBN's studio, religious leaders, government bodies, youth and investors were participated. The main agenda of the discussion was the current situation of the Oromia regional states. The participants said in the restoration of peace in the country, the contribution of all people are immense.
Peace has greater value among Oromo people, and its value should be preserved. So everybody should safeguard his or her own peace and the country's peace.
Currently, in the Oromia regional state, the government that hears its people has been created. With this, the public's long-time development question has been getting solution, according to the party. They added, the Oromo people has become united than ever, and it is exemplary in the country. Therefore, to sustain it, the government and the people should be listening to each other. The Oromo youth should be aware on the enemy's agenda of dispersing the unification of the Oromo people and abstain from unwanted acts.
Kabakat, Forles, Dargagis Kanis, Kanjuru Kunimo, Nagenya Nanura Tirmachaju.
In various parts of the country, Fole and youth are participating in preserving peace of our region in well-organized manner. For instance, in exposing contrabandists and rent seekers, our youth have an irreplaceable contribution, so this should be sustained.
Religious leaders who have taken part on the discussion called upon their fellow colleagues to discharge their responsibility.
We, religious leaders, are not discharging our responsibility because when their people were surrendered, religious leaders have to go with them and encourage them. But the reverse has happened in our country. Therefore, from now onward, they have to act as a principle of God.
Different segments of the society urged the student. Education is the key for everything. For this reason, the Oromo students should ask their question in a disciplined way without interrupting their education.
Now the Oromo people come together and united. It has to listen the leader. When we say this, it not be quiet. When there is problem, they have to ask in a proper way. We are in the 21st century, and it is the time to struggle by technology. So to succeed our vision, we have to learn. I call upon our students to let them ask their question without drop out their education.
Welcome back. You're watching Open with me, Thomas Kambulat. Now news from abroad. Former football star George Weah has been elected as a Liberian president with nearly all ballots from Tuesday's round of votes counted. Mr. Weah is well ahead of opponent Joseph Boakai with more than 60% of votes. As news of Mr. Weah's victory emerged, supporters began celebrating in the capital Monrovia. He will succeed Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, African first elected female president in Liberia, first democratic handover in decades. My fellow Liberians, I deeply feel the emotion of all the nation, Mr. Weah wrote on Twitter after football clubs Paris Saint-Germain and AC Milan before ending his career in England with brief stay at Chelsea and Manchester City. He is the only African footballer to have won FIFA World Player of the Year and prestigious Ballon d'Or. He entered politics after his retirement from the game in 2002 is currently senator in Liberia Parliament. BBC report. That's all for now. Many thanks for joining us. Have a good time.